Hi everyone, we're gonna get started. So the first thing that, just so you know, if for any reason your screen is blurry, change the settings down here from the quality, from auto, whatever you have it to 480, and then the screen will not be blurry anymore. So this is the sixth webinar that goes with Module 6. In this webinar, we'll be looking at Google Earth, Google's Cultural Institute, and Google Expeditions, which is a new feature, a new application that was just released this summer. So first, we're going to look at Google Earth. Google Earth is an application or a program that you're going to need to download to your computer. There is also, I think, a web version of it, but the downloaded program is much easier and much better to use. So when you first open it up, you're presented with the world. And what's really nice about this, especially if you have a smartboard, is that the students can actually rotate and look at the world or with their hands if they're using a smartboard. So they can really look around it as they want. So it really kind of gives them a sense of the earth, where different places are. On the side here, you can scroll up and down like that. And you can also zoom in and zoom out. It's easier for me to just use it as my mouse, but you can also use the things over here. So one great thing about Google Earth versus maybe if you're going to use Google Maps and use the satellite version of Google Maps, is that you can really see things in 3D. So let's say we're going to visit in Athens, Greece, and we're going to visit the Acropolis. I also really like Google Earth because it kind of flies to different places. So say you're in the United States, you want to start in your hometown and you want to visit a different place, maybe in Europe, Asia, or Africa. It really brings you there so the students can really see where places are in relation to one another. So as you can see, there's all these little icons around here. And those are pictures that maybe other people have uploaded that Google has collected from different places. So if you click on one, it'll open up the image. And this is supported by Panoramio, which is Google's platform for collecting all these images. However, I think this program might they might be getting rid of it. So just so you know, I got an email the other day saying they might dissolve it. But from here, you can see all the different pictures and places in the area, so it really gives you a better sense of what everything looks like. So if I'm going to scroll in some more, you can see, so the Acropolis, it's up on a hill in Athens, and so as I scroll in, you actually see the hill itself. So that's really nice for the students to kind of get that sense of different places. Now, you notice that it's flat. It's not actually showing the buildings. Down here, we have different layers. And if I click on the 3D buildings, now the buildings that are available are being shown. So now we can actually see the Acropolis, or the part not on the Acropolis. And we can rotate around. And you can see more photos inside it. So it really gives you a nice perspective of different places. So let's go to a different place that maybe we can actually go into the city a little bit more. So let's go to by the Louvre in France. So here we are at the Louvre. And so say we zoomed in. I'll actually get onto a street so then we can zoom in onto the street. So we're just going to keep zooming in until we're basically on the street. So now we've kind of turned into Street View that we would see in Google Maps. So we've gotten so close that we're now at Street View. And just like in Street View, you can move around. Basically, wherever this yellow line is where you can go. So you can really bring your students to different cities, different places throughout the world, all through Google Earth. Same down here. If you want the images, Panoramio, if people that have uploaded, you can choose them, you can have them, you don't have them. If you want the roads, obviously we're in Street View right now, so the road's going to be there, but different places might not have the roads. And we'll get into the ocean in a second, we'll be able to see different things there. So it's really nice that you can just zoom around. We can exit Street View if you want to. And here we just see it from the buildings. Or there, it's like your little man on Google Maps. If you want to pin a place or save a place, all I did was click this pin button up here, and we can title it, and it gives us our longitude and latitude automatically, and it will automatically save it and put it into my places right here. We can also create a path, so we can go to different places throughout. So if I zoomed out, and see all those yellow lines are all the different places you could go on Street View if you wanted to. So if I create a path, oops. There. We can add spots on our path. We can also record. So if we're in Street View, we talk about this in the course. You can record different, yourself kind of taking a tour and walking around it yourself. We can also change that. That's for the other thing. We can change whether it's daylight or nighttime. And I'll show you this one right here. If we zoom all the way out, a little bit too far, we can look at the night sky. So if you're doing something in astronomy or science, now we can look at the night sky. We can take a tour to Mars. Or we can also visit the moon. So that's really handy for a science class or maybe an elementary class and you want to visit, you're doing the solar system and you want to see different places. So let's go back to Earth. And let's look at this ruler. So the ruler will allow us to measure the distance between two places. So say we want to find the distance between Berlin and Paris. It will tell us down here how far it is in kilometers, centimeters, miles. And so then you could also have the students, maybe you give it to them in miles and they have to convert it. Or you say, okay, we're going to start in Warsaw, Poland. You have to go 600 miles. Where can you go? And what's the closest, what city is within 600 miles that you can go to? So you can really do different things with that and make different lessons out of that. Notice also down here, my latitude and longitude change as I move around, and also the elevation. So you could also tell them, all right, we're going to be in Germany, and what's the elevation of the mountains, or what's the elevation down by the ocean, or what's the difference in elevation. And so you can have them, just by scrolling around on the screen, look at the longitude, latitude, and elevation of different places. And so finally, the last thing we're going to look at with Google Earth is the ocean. So if we add the ocean layer, you'll notice that a bunch of different things are now starting to pop up. So with the ocean layer, we have additional information that we can look at. So we get some marine life from the Census of Marine Life. You can find out about shipwrecks. Or anything from Wanna Surf, and different websites that Google kind of feeds into this. So it's really kind of helpful having the different, and so here, and you can see, we have the Explore the Ocean, we have Endangered Species, Shipwrecks, Census Marine Life, and you have different layers that you can add or take away. So if you are working with a class and you just want to look at Census Marine Life, you can only check that. Or you can have them say, have it Census Marine Life, or have it maybe be animal tracking, and have them have to find the animal tracking throughout the world, or the best ocean spots, or whatever it may be, whatever you're focusing on with your lesson. And like I said, if you create a My Places, wherever you do it, it'll be here. So let's say we want to go to the Grand Canyon. We can get directions to here from here. And if I click on it, it automatically brings me there. And it's kind of cool because you kind of get the relief and the 3D aspect of it. So you can actually see the depth. And also with the elevation, you can say that, oh, we're at this point we're 3,440 feet above sea level, but up here, almost another, 6,000 feet above sea level. So you can kind of really see the difference in everything. So from Google Earth, we're going to get out of that, and we're actually going to go to Google Arts and Culture. So Google's Arts and Culture is a great website, which I don't think a lot of people really know about or use. It basically allows you to visit hundreds of different museums throughout the world. and you can access primary documents, primary resources, and really feel like you're actually at the museum. So on your homepage, you get your daily digest, stories of the day. What I really think is awesome are the virtual tours. And we'll go more into this in a little bit when we do some stuff on Google Expeditions. But I think the virtual tours are absolutely amazing. So say we want to go to this temple. So now we scroll around and it's like we're actually there. And we can move around just like we would pretend that we were actually there. So it's really cool. It kind of gives students that feel if you're studying something that has to do with this, and it lets them kind of put it more in perspective than just looking at it in a textbook or an image. And so they have lots of different virtual tours that you can go on, and from all different places. Some are museums, some are actual locations, like this is Robben Island in South Africa. And you actually get to move around like you were visiting it. It's not just an image that you'd scroll around. You actually get to go in and really access it and experience it. So as you can see, there's a lot of different virtual tours that you can go on. And also there's a lot of art in Google Arts and Culture. So sometimes people struggle to get, you can't always go to an art museum, but using this website, you can access all these different types of artists' work and sculptures in a very accessible way. As a history teacher, what I think is really cool is the part that is on historical events. There are so many here, you can't even count how many events they actually identify. But say we're teaching the students about World War II. There are almost 17,000 objects or images that you can actually look at that relate to World War II on this website. So it gives you online exhibits from different places throughout the world, or all of these images, virtual tours, videos that you're able to show your students. So if it has this little icon right here, the little yellow guy, that means it's a virtual tour like the one that we had gone on. These are all images, and they are basically anything from primary documents to an image of something that they might have used during the time. And it gives you a little explanation of everything right here. And if you click on it, you can actually go in. You can zoom in, you can read it, and you really get to see these documents firsthand. They also have videos that you can play. So you really get access to all these different documents, and everything that you need is right here at your fingertips. Almost the downside is that there's so much that you really have to be able to decipher and look through everything. But maybe you're doing a project and you want your students to kind of, you say, here we're learning about World War II, or we're learning about this artist, and you bring them to this website and they can then do all the research and they can really dig into it. So going along with Google Arts and Culture is Google Expeditions. Google Expeditions was just released in the summer, but there were some pilot programs for the past year or two through Google. And basically, it's bringing virtual reality to the classroom. So in order to go on an expedition, you need a headset or a virtual reality headset and a phone that will play it. We're going to watch a short little demo right now from Fieldtrip VR that really shows you exactly what it looks like for both the teacher who will be leading the expedition and bringing students to different places, and the student and kind of what they see. So Google Expeditions is amazing. It's really coming into a lot of different schools now, and they're really trying to embrace this so they can really visit all these different places throughout the world. Like you saw, you go everywhere from the Great Wall of China to inside the human heart, the skeletal system, swimming underwater in the Caribbean, swimming with sharks. You can go so many different places. So we've covered a lot so far, and a lot of different ways that you can bring your students on these field trips and see all these different places throughout the world. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat. And if not, please just answer this quick survey. It's very short, same like the other ones. Basically, the one question just to show that you've watched it. You can answer, we went to a bunch of different places on Google Earth. So just identify one of them that we kind of talked about or discussed. Thank you very much. And like I said, if you have any questions, just write it into the chat on the right-hand side of the video. And I'll be able to answer a few there. Thank you.